Hello and welcome to The Villain Was Right, the podcast where we talk about movies and TV shows from the villain's perspective and dare to ask, were they really all that bad? I'm your host, Rebecca Reed.
And I'm your host, Craig Fay.
We're keeping it. We're doing it.
Oh, yeah. This is Rebecca's third attempt at that intro.
I have not. Anyway, it's fine. We're okay. It's fine. It's good.
It's Sunday. We've had our coffees.
Sweet Jesus.
We're here.
It's coming out as marbles today, everybody. Just marbles in the mouth. Fuck it. I don't care. We're moving on. We are covering Best in Show.
Yeah. Audience choice.
Audience choice.
We did a whole Christopher Guest month.
Was it close?
I thought it was going to be a lot closer. Best in Show won by a large margin.
It's the best one.
And, well,
It is Best in Show.
I really did expect, because we had This Is Spinal Tap up against it as well, and I really thought This Is Spinal Tap would have a strong showing. I was kind of surprised how...
It doesn't touch my soul the same way. It's good, but it just, Best in Show just hits for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's my favorite one, I think, out of all of the Christopher Guest movies. I did sit down one time. I wrote like a CBC article on Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara, and so I watched like all of his films at once, or like that section of them. And this is definitely my favorite one.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Oh, so good. I love it.
It's definitely, I think, one that, because this came out also in the year 2000, I think, same as Center Stage, which we're doing next week. And
totally could not be more different.
Yeah, and except they're all about competitions.
They
but,
are.
I don't think I was old enough to appreciate this movie when I saw it for the first time. Like, because it's very dry and subtle.
Yes, to a certain degree. Well, I don't know if it's super subtle. I don't know if I would use the word subtle when I talk about this movie.
Subdued, maybe quiet. Like it's not Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. Let's put it that way.
They're not screaming it at you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
there we go.
Yeah.
Quiet, maybe, is the right word instead of not subtle.
Quiet.
Anyway, it's a sweater instead of a Hawaiian shirt.
Okay,
of a comedy. Does that make sense?
I suppose so. I suppose that's the closest we'll get
to agreeing on this. Okay.
I freaking love this movie front to back. It's just a movie that because normally I like to I'll play something while I'm watching something, or I'll do something on the side because my mind's going in a million directions and it helps. This is a movie I can just sit down and watch. I don't want to take my eyes off the screen. I want the cast is unbelievable. It's unbelievable how many people are in this movie.
Yeah.
It's mockumentary style.
Yep.
Okay, as is most of the Christopher Guest films, if not all, at least in this section. It's mockumentary style. If you have not seen this movie, it's Best in Show. It's all about dogs. We are following several couples through their journey, and a singular man. Several couples, and for whatever reason, one singular man. In their journey to hopefully becoming Best in Show. They all win their dog shows in their regions, and they travel down, collectively. They all have their own issues, problems, little quirks. Each of them win for their dog section, and then they want to win Best in Show. We have Catherine O'Hara and Eugene Levy, Cookie and
Jerry.
Jerry and Cookie. I love Cookie. I love that name. It's perfect. It sounds like a dog's name. I love it. Their terrier wins, and then they go on to sing songs about terriers because they're famous now within their communities. They had a newspaper article written about them. They were on the radio not once, not twice, but thrice. And now they're making songs about terriers. A lot of colorful characters.
Yeah.
Just everybody. If they were in comedy in the 2000s. You're in this movie.
Yeah, Jennifer Coolidge, Catherine O'Hara, Eugene Leonard, Fred Willard, Parker Posey, Michael Hitchcock, who you'd recognize. You maybe don't know the name, but you'd be like, oh, that guy.
Yes.
Michael McKeegan, who, like, if you watch Better Call Saul, like, you know who he is. Like, he's the brother. Jane Lynch, Christopher Guest, obviously. Ed Begley Jr. is the hotel manager. Fred Willard as the commentator. Like, it's
Fred Willard is so unbelievably funny. First of all, in everything he does, and secondarily, so amazing in this movie that you can catch his co-star, like when they're talking, you can catch him breaking.
Yeah.
Like there's tail ends where he's just like, he's fighting so hard not to start like a burst of laughter at what this man is saying.
So the thing about, I know we're still in the recap thing, but the thing about Fred Willard in this was like, a lot of this is improvised, like the dialogue is improvised or whatever, because they're all that good at comedy. And I legitimately thought that the other guy that he was opposite in the commentator's booth may have actually been like a for-real dog show commentator, because... And that they were doing like a daily show or like or a Philomena Kunk or like you know, when like they...
No, but I've seen that guy in other stuff.
No, I know. And he is an actor, 100%. But like for a moment watching this, I was just like...
You do believe.
I do believe that man is playing it so straight, where I was like, oh, they pulled one over on him. You know, and he doesn't know how to react. Anyway.
How much do you think I benched? Like him just... So
I told my proctologist, you know, take me to dinner and movie. Yes. I remember you telling that joke last year.
It's just so fucking good. I love Fred Willard so much.
Him, just the clip of him playing the organ. I don't even know what that's from.
I think it's from. Oh my god! So you think I should leave, or so?
Oh yes, it is. You're right. Yeah.
I think that's what that's from. Just like a series of escalations.
You're right. That is what that's from.
Fred Willard is so unbelievably fun, and I love that they kept like the little, just the little smirks from the other guy, where he's like, I can barely hold it in.
Yeah,
this man is being too funny in front of me. Every line in this movie is so good, like just front to back. I think it is comedic genius.
Yeah.
We've got a couple that the Braces couple that are all about LL Bean, and they're just like, our dog has anxiety, and their dog does have anxiety. To be fair, their dog should probably not be in a dog show. There's the bloodhound fisherman guy, where you're like, I think I'm only catching about half the words coming out of your mouth. Thank God I have subtitles on. This is so great. Who am I missing? We've got
Jennifer Coolidge and Jane Lynch.
Oh yes. So we've got the woman. Jennifer Coolidge is she's married a much older man, and her passion is just dogs now. So she spends all of this money creating this kennel, and you know, this high tech. I love that they're like, so a high tech facility, and it's just fences. Like, dead. Anyway, when you think this movie is done rolling out stars, it's just beginning.
Yeah. Oh, there's also the gay couple,
Yep.
Stefan and Scott.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's all fantastic.
Just okay. You're packing 6 kimonos, and this
so I need 7.
And this is 7. We're spending 48 hours in Philadelphia.
So you're saying I don't have enough? So you're saying I don't have enough? You're right. I don't have enough. I need to pack more. Everyone is so freaking funny in this movie.
Yeah.
It's in my opinion, just a 10 out of 10. I love it. If you've never seen it, just go watch it right now. Come back.
I mean, and they nerd up Eugene Levy. Like, he's wearing like fake teeth. It's like
he literally has 2 left feet.
Yeah, the man that needed no nerding up. Like the man who has played basically a nerd in everything he's ever done.
They were like,
they nerded it up a little bit.
Make his teeth wackier.
Oh, God.
Give him literally 2 left feet.
Yeah.
With the pan down, with the camera, everything. Just
loved it.
Comedic dynamite, front to back. So, Craig, who do you clock as the villain or villains of this movie?
So I have a somewhat So first of all, I do want to say I think the Swans, Parker Posey and Michael Hitchcock, the yuppie couple.
I just keep calling them braces.
Yeah, I think they are the absolute fucking worst.
They are, yes. Yeah.
Like, of all the people, I'm just like, no. Like, you shouldn't own a dog. You shouldn't be together. You shouldn't, like, you are creating your own problems. Like, you can't get out of your own way.
Yeah.
I think they're the worst. But I also have a very unconventional villain of this.
Right.
Which is, I think the villain of this is nonconformity, right? Or deviation from type, or irregularity, divergence. Being an aberration, right? Because in the grand scheme of the movie, it's all about a dog show.
Yes.
Right. Where they're like, they're being judged on how well they fit these types. And I think, like, also then on top of that, every single character in this does not fit nicely into a type.
Yes.
And I think they're all fighting against that. So that would be my villain of this, is like...
Okay.
But who did you pick as a villain?
I have a few. I have a couple. Some small villains and then some bigger ones. So as far as, like, the smaller ones go, I would say every man that hits on Cookie. Every man that hits on Cookie, which is a lot, okay, and I am going to defend those men, actually.
Oh, okay.
Which is, I know, insane, but I have a thing on this. I would say them. I would say Fred Willard's character.
Yeah, he's a bit of a villain.
He's a villain because he's not, like, taking the dog show serious. But I also think the villain of the movie is dog shows.
Yeah.
Just in general, just like the people that show up to them, the act of them, and the participation in them.
Yeah.
I think is the villain, and I think I'm also going to defend dog shows. I'm also going to say, like,
really,
or at least these people, like this particular thing. Okay. I don't believe you should. Just to be clear, before I get into all of my arguments, I don't really believe or subscribe to the idea that we should be breeding dogs in that manner at all. Okay, in any capacity. It creates a lot of health problems. Morally, I think there's a lot of gray areas with it where I'm like, I don't like this. I don't love it. Or even bad areas, I would say, morally, like puppy mills, these sorts of things. So I don't really think we should be doing that. But in the sense of, you know what, I'll just start here. Where I would defend this dog show in particular is that I don't think any of these people should be out in society doing anything else. Let us pour this passion into this, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, we can't have these loose cannons out here, man. They need focus, they need a hobby, they need drive, and good for them. Okay, and aside from, I would say, perhaps the Braces couple, I think all of them are actually treating their dogs very well.
Yeah,
and giving them really good lives and and really hoisting them up, being like, you're my everything.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of dog owners are actually like that, regardless of whether they're show dogs or who they are or what have you. I'm not saying out in the universe, like in the world you and I live in, I don't like the idea of a dog show because I think it reinforces this, like, purebred, you know what I mean? Like, certain types of dogs, these sorts of things. In the scope of this movie, yes, let's point these loaded guns towards each other. Okay, let's put these people,
let's put this.
Let them have it, okay?
This is the outlet for your crazy. This is, Yeah, no, I get that.
And I do think they all love their dogs deeply, and I think they treat their dogs really well.
Well, except for Braces. Yeah. They're the one exception, which is the only reason I clock them as, like, the true villains of this. Which is, I was like, and you know what it was? I think the dog was actually pretty calm all the way through it. Like, because, like, I'm very aware that these are real dogs in this movie, right? And I also am aware that they are acting, but the dogs don't know that the people are acting.
Yep.
So the whole time that they're, like, screaming back and forth in front of the dog, I was like, oh, dogs pick up on that energy. And actually their dog was pretty fucking chill, and he was just sitting there, like, talking about the actor dog, I guess. And I was like, oh, okay, this dog's actually chill, but, like, you're just ramping each other up so badly that, Like it's so clear they're putting their own anxieties onto the dog.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people do that.
Of course.
And they don't realize it. Like that I think is the superpower of dogs is they're like very empathetic. They don't understand anything, but they get it. You know does that make sense?
But they also use that dog as like an extension. It's almost like when somebody speaks for their baby to give their own opinion. It's like, oh yeah, you don't like this food, do you? And it's like, oh, so you don't like it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. I mean, the movie even starts with them in therapy talking about how their dog walked in on them having sex,
Hilarious.
and now it's like cold to them and everything else. Like that dog is a blank slate throughout the entire movie.
But also nailed the audition in that fact where they're like, look, she won't even look at us. Yeah, and the dog's just like, yeah, I can't.
But it's just being a dog. I don't think that dog did anything wrong. I don't think that dog was anxious. I don't think that dog cared about his bumblebee. I think they did.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, that bumblebee scene just fucking made me lose it. Where she's trying to replace the bumblebee squeak toy, and just this shopkeep who's just like, oh, yeah, okay, how about this? She goes, that's a bear in a bumblebee suit. And she goes, it's this big, it's squeaking. He goes, oh, well, this one squeaks. She goes, that's not a bumblebee. He's like, yeah, but like the stripes, I don't think the dog would care. And she's like, fine, I'll take this one. Or no, it's like, well, how about this one? It's like, that's a fish.
Yeah.
Well, it's like black and white, black and yellow, you won't know. And just her being like, fine, I'll take this one. He's like, that's the one that's least like a bee. Like, I don't know. I just lost it at that point. I laughed so hard at just
perfect.
like
it's perfect.
Just such an irrational person trying to do something, and like, oh my gosh, she's threatening to call like immigration services on the maid because they can't find a squeaky toy in the hotel room. I was like, oh my god, the sainthood of the hotel manager in that scene, not to be like, get the
and
fuck.
Throughout the other scenes where he's like, you guys don't have money, you can sleep in the utility closet is so fun. We'll clear it up, we'll take the stuff out. So when we order room service, is it to the utility closet?
He's like, oh, that's great. Yeah, no, the bathroom is
there'll be no confusion there.
Yeah.
So good. Okay, there is one moment where I will defend the Braces couple.
Okay.
Because I know this is supposed to be like, okay, they're anxious and they're taking it out on this guy. Listen, this is a firm rule across the board that I think a lot of people don't understand. Don't pet a dog without the owner's permission.
Oh, yeah.
The owner knows the dog. That guy just comes in like, ooh, doggy, doggy, and then he snaps because the dog like loses it on him, and then they lose it on that guy. And I'm like, yeah, lose it on that guy actually. Okay, don't pet a dog you don't know unless the owner's like, oh yeah, super friendly, like loves pets. Like, you need confirmation because like there's a lot of dogs out here that are actually walking around with a lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
Or like PTSD to some degree or whatever.
And you're coming in.
And you're just coming in and you're a stranger. They don't know your scent. They don't know what's going on. And if you come in hot, that dog might snap, and that's not that dog's fault or their problem.
And I will say, it wasn't even that aggressive. Like, it's not like the dog snapped at him. Yeah. He started barking at him. So quite frankly, that is an important lesson to learn in a hotel where it's going to be filled with dogs this weekend. It's going to be filled with dogs. Like, that is the hotel.
Well, that was the airport, but yes.
Oh, that was the airport. Sorry, you're right. Sorry, I confused it for the lobby.
This is, again, a movie that I love. You can tell.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, do not just approach a dog.
Nah, man. Fuck, don't do that to me.
Like, like, it's one thing if the dog's like sitting there looking at you, wagging its tail, and you're like, oh, you're a friendly little guy, aren't you? And then like the owners will be like,
oh yeah. The amount of drunk strangers that have pet my own head. Okay, no, don't do that. I'll start barking. I will start barking at you. Okay, fuck off.
Don't do that.
No. The amount of people that's like, oh my god, your hair's so shiny, and I'm like, please stop this. What's happening? Why are you doing this?
Now I'm looking like, is it particularly shiny?
No, well, I'm getting older, Craig. The coat's losing a bit of its lust. You know what I mean?
Get the a strong coat. You need to drink tuna water.
Yeah, I'm really not getting those omega-3s.
That's what we feed our cats.
Like, you know what? I should.
Yeah,
I should. More fish in the diet.
Shots of fish water.
Shots of fish. Okay. So I would love to I would love to get into why I think the men that are hitting on.
Oh, this is what I'm very interested in hearing this.
Okay, and this is going to sound insane, okay, because obviously each of those men are being wildly inappropriate, okay,
Yes.
wildly inappropriate. Here's my defense of those men. If that happens once, that's gross, unjust, and not right, blatantly disrespectful. Twice, okay, that's kind of weird. 3 times, I actually think there's something happening here with this woman. You have a certain something that just makes people go bananas, like blind for a second. There's a chemical on you. There's something going on. You're the greatest sexual partner that's ever happened to the point where people literally ignore your husband in front of both of you.
And they come up to you and they're like, yeah, you remember it was like
the
12
roller
years
coaster?
ago. Yeah.
Okay, I honestly think that this woman is so far out, she is the Michael Jackson of fucking, okay, to such a degree that I'm like, listen, I don't know what to do. Like, there's just, if it happened once, I'd be like, okay, that's gross and disgusting.
Come on, we had a past. We don't need to
3 times, I'm like, and I will also say, she's also kind of like,
oh, yeah. And I would even go so far as to say, like, it happens so often and is so specific in the way that they approach her that I almost feel like it's instructions or permission was given.
Yeah,
like
if you see me in 20 years, let me know, remind me.
Yeah, like, come up to me, doesn't matter who I'm with, and just
To be clear, don't support this anywhere else.
No. And I'm saying this was an explicit conversation that happened between Catherine O'Hara's character and these men, right? Where it's like, I'm going to go so far as to say that's probably her thing.
Yeah.
I love to be approached in public and told how good I throw down.
If anything, it might be this guy's kink also. He's like, listen, I'm going to get a little mad at you, and then we're going to take this out in the bedroom, buddy.
I would believe it.
Yes.
Like, I hate the word, but there is strong cuckold energy there.
Hey, that's okay. No, I get it.
The start where we're introduced is like, well, you know, she had dozens of boyfriends.
Hundreds.
And he goes, hundreds? Yeah, hundreds.
Yeah, hundreds. Of course, hundreds. Shut the fuck up.
She corrects me like, oh no, like hundreds. Like how many Beanie Babies did you have? Dozens. Oh no, it was hundreds.
I love how firm she is in her character. Like, I just love that she's not shy. It's not, she just is herself. These men say these things and she's like, oh my God, stop, but don't.
Yeah.
Stop, but don't.
Oh God. And they, we got to drive 140 miles out of the way to meet up with somebody that like you met
That's
once.
how you know.
And then like they get there and both are married, and then he just kisses his Eugene, like Catherine O'Hara. Just
what does he say to her? He goes like, "What if I complimented your like luscious melons?"
Oh yeah, this is so inappropriate. And then his wife is like, "Oh, thank you. They do look." It's like that's. So
I love this movie.
Yeah,
Fuck
it's so good. So yeah, I think
I just think because for the sheer amount of them, I'm like something else is happening here.
it goes far beyond just poor behavior.
Yeah.
It's like there was some sort of agreement or understanding that has happened here.
This is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like I think if it happened once, I'd be like, I am against this person. This is disgusting and bad and so inappropriate. But because it happens so often and she was so smiley about it, I'm like, this is something you have going on with your partner. Because I don't know if you've ever met somebody like this, but like I have met some people where I'm like, oh, there's like you've roped me into some sort of weird foreplay that I don't even want to be a part of.
Yep.
Like you didn't ask my permission. I do not want to do this.
I'm
but
flirting
I can
with
feel
her. She's getting jealous at you,
and it's like a
they're
weird
gonna go
thing. And I'm like, please just stop it.
I'll give you feet pics. Just stop doing this. And
I beg. It's weird. Why am I wrapped up in this?
Well, and he knows, right? Like so they've been together a while.
Yep.
And so he knew who she was when they got together. He knew what she was about. I don't think he expected her to change.
Nah.
Yeah, I think there's something
they're
going
down
on
for
there.
the cause. I think they're down for the cause. That's my explanation there.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so.
Okay. And lastly, for me, okay, and before we get into your, I don't know, existential crisis, I don't know.
Yeah.
Before we get into that, okay, I want to talk about the announcer for a little bit, okay? And here's my defense of this man. I actually, after watching this, believe that every single thing we do should have one announcer that doesn't know what's going on. In everything.
That's a strong pitch.
I think that added so much flavor and so, like, if I've never watched a dog show in my life. I'd watch that dog show.
Yeah.
I don't like watching football. I would watch it with one announcer going, yay, they caught the thing. Good. I think that's good, right? Like, I actually think I want one of these people on everything.
Yeah.
One person, because, most of the time, there's a lot of people out there that are watching something where they're like, I either don't want to be watching this, I'm being dragged, I don't know what's going on. And I would just like there always to be one person in the room where it's like, yeah, there's 5 experts here and one just zero idiot. You know what I mean? Just somebody that has absolutely no fucking knowledge that's just like, oh my God, I love their outfits though. Okay, I think that would add so much flavor and entertainment to every single thing we watch. That's my pitch, and that's why I think he's not a villain. He's there to make it entertaining. He made it more entertaining, and I actually think this should extend out to every single thing we fucking watch.
I agree with you so much on this. I think I think people take everything a little too seriously.
Right. Come on.
Like you've got to admit that it's an inherently silly thing to be parading dogs around and checking their balls.
Yep.
And like inspecting their teeth and prancing around like this. Like that's silly.
It is silly.
It's a dog show. It's silly. Acknowledge that it's a little silly. You can take it seriously and also acknowledge that this is a little silly. Like there is a grown woman cupping a hound dog's balls, checking to make sure
and
that
he's like,
okay.
What is she doing?
Yeah. Oh, that's
getting
weird.
really close and personal there, and it's like, no, she's doing exactly what you think she's doing.
She wants to see them walk to check their gait. He's like, oh yeah, I always get women always walking away from me. I don't mind. And you're just like, okay, this is great.
So much flavor to everything. You know what it reminded me of?
Yeah.
Is watching Snoop Dogg be a commentator on. There was like a string of like exhibition fights, and it was just him being like, oh boy, this looks like my 2 uncles at a cookout. And I'm like, I want this in everything.
Yes.
I want one person that kind of, or like, no, I'm not saying Snoop Dogg doesn't know anything about fighting, but that's not what he's adding here. Okay, that's not what he's adding.
No,
okay?
he's adding the flavor.
Yes,
he's adding a little spice.
Because all of these people, especially when they're experts, generally, they all talk the same. They use the same words, the same vernacular, because it's all things that they've learned about, technical terms even, where it's like, oh, you'd have to be super into this to know exactly what that means.
Yeah.
One idiot on every panel.
And I think, you're going to go further than this. I think you should be able to select the audio track commentary that you want.
Oh, so we're cooking.
So
now we're cooking.
Do you want do you want dry? Do you want extra dry? Do you want lighthearted? Do you want beginner?
Yes.
And beginner's like, listen, you've never watched a dog show before. Don't worry. I got you. Here's what's up. Or football or basketball or baseball or ballet or whatever it is, where someone's just like, listen, buddy, I got you. And then it's like, if you want a little lighthearted, you want a little Fred Willard in there, fucking spicing it up. Go for it. Fred Willard and what movie was it? Was it Fred Willard and Elizabeth Banks? Was that? Oh, that was
Pitch.
Pitch Perfect.
Yes,
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, same energy. Yeah. Give me that.
I want it all. I
want my life commentated by Fred Willard is what I want.
Of course.
Yeah.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
But to say, I think one of those, there should be one of those on every fucking panel, buddy.
Yep.
Every one of them. I would just want one person going, what just happened? Why are they doing that? Why is that guy grabbing his own ass right now?
Tell me.
It's like, well, that's not actually part of the game.
Anybody ever slip anybody a 20 at this point? Like, is there any bribery or anything?
Can you take that coin after you flip it? Do you take that home? Do they own that?
Love that. I would love that for everything. Let's more commentary for life.
It's all I want.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the guy where I was like, oh, I'm gonna defend this man. Okay. To you, Craig.
Yeah.
To your thesis statement on this movie.
Okay. So my big thing is like, one, I also I don't really agree with purebred dogs either.
No,
right?
Of course not. Yeah.
Like it's like I was thinking about this and it's like I frankly don't even like the word pure or purity. Like
no, it's creepy. It's creepy. It's weird and yuck.
Like outside of chemistry, cocaine, and maybe maple syrup.
I get that. Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I'm a maple girly.
Yeah,
absolutely.
100% pure maple syrup, you're like fine. But like if you're like as soon as you mix purity and tradition together, like cottage butter, mixing purity and tradition since 1809. Oh, you're a white supremacist. You're a white supremacist.
I can't. Anytime.
Just fuck off with it.
I hear like she's just so pure. Oh no.
No. And especially when it's rich people. And I know that like in this movie, it's not like not everyone is portrayed as being particularly rich.
Oh, certainly. But definitely not Cookie and
no.
Yeah.
Clearly they're having some financial trouble. But like I don't think doing dog shows is necessarily like a cheap hobby to have, right? No. Especially like having a purebred dog and grooming and expenses and travel and everything like that. So like particularly when it's rich people like celebrating and everything about purity and like
it's
what a standard
mad
is.
Weird.
Yeah.
Again, hate them outside of the context of this movie.
Right.
Yeah.
So the other thing is like my main thesis is like we as humans try and put things into neat little categories. Like we have this like implicit desire to do this, and it doesn't work. And all of these people that you see in the movie are totally misfits, right? They're totally people who don't quite fit into society, right? That like we got a guy with literally 2 left feet. Right? Yep. We've got a woman whose sexual promiscuity is not in line with what social standards.
A man that needs 8 kimonos.
A man who needs 8 kimonos, right? Like even just that they're gay in the year 2000 is a thing, right? We've got a woman married to like an heiress. Married to like a very rich old man who's in love with her dog breeder or whatever, right? Like all of these things. Like I would say Christopher Guest's character, the guy with the bloodhound, is perhaps the most normal of them all.
Well, at least most normal to me. I was like, oh yeah, I've met people like this. Like, I know these guys.
But even him, like he's just a good old boy with a dog, right? And he runs a fishing shop. But you can tell so him going to like a dog show is a little weird, but like whatever. But the rest of the people in his life do not understand him. Like there's Will Sasso who plays like bit part in it. That's his like friend at the fishing shop, and he's leaving. So he's saying goodbye, and Will Sasso's like, "So you gonna get some fishing in?" And he goes like, I'm going to Philadelphia for a dog show, so no.
No.
And then he keeps saying like, okay, well, catch a big one, and it's like, oh, it's so impossible for his friends and his core group of people to imagine any life outside of fishing, or that he's such an outsider, right? Like he's going and like hobnobbing with all these other people from all over
Aside
America.
From the fact that he's going from one obsession to the next obsession,
like and ventriloquism, right?
Oh, that's so funny. I forgot about that.
And that's the other thing, right? So that's one part. So everyone's like everyone's a misfit, and they're using this dog show as a way to conform so that they can do what they're almost like, if I can conform in this, then it's okay if I'm something else.
Oh, interesting.
Right, because in the epilogue, what happens? What are they doing? The gay couple, they're making they're like, we always wanted to do this. We're doing a photo shoot of great golden era Hollywood films, but with dogs.
Yes.
Okay, so they're making a calendar that they want to put out there.
Which would sell.
Which would sell.
It's
It's honestly the most. So the one I can support probably the most.
Yes.
The Flex are going into a recording studio to sing their god awful songs about dogs, right? But they're like, we wanted to be music. We want to sing our songs, right? The one guy goes into ventriloquism. Jennifer Coolidge and Jane Lynch start Bitch magazine for the what was it? The lesbians who have purebred dogs.
Yeah,
and the issue, like, so everybody is like trying to be this very outgoing, eccentric version once they've sort of gotten permission that they've like put themselves into a narrow enough category with this dog thing.
Interesting.
So everybody is like kind of up against that. And the dog show is very much a conform.
Yeah.
Be this perfect type of thing, right? Yeah.
Body. Yeah. That I mean that tracks.
Yeah.
I get it.
And here's why I think that villain is right. I think so the villain is unconformity, right? Or aberration. And we want to put things into silos and neat little categories, and the world does not work like that.
No, it can't.
Okay? It can't. Do you know the fish thing? Do you know the tree thing?
What do you mean?
Okay, a couple examples of this. There's no such thing as fish. There's no such thing as trees.
Yeah. I'm gonna need a bit more.
Yeah. I know. Okay, so
I'm gonna need a little bit more.
So the fish thing, right, is how you normally define like what a fish is, and you just go back into like the evolutionary tree, and you go like, oh, well, here's where fish split up from everything else, right?
Okay.
And everything that's like kind of downstream of that is what we would call a fish, right? That's traditionally what we do. So if you were to do that, you have to go so far in order to include everything that you or I would consider a fish. You have to go so far back in the evolutionary timeline that we would be fish. Like we share a more recent common ancestor with some fish than other fish do with other fish. Does that make sense?
Good Lord.
Right?
Okay.
So either nothing is a fish or we're all fish.
Oh, Craig,
But because
you can't say this to a woman that smokes weed. You can't.
Okay, and
I'm gonna have an existential crisis later.
Yeah, no, because fish is like is a human construct that we use to describe a group of things, but that is really quite meaningless. Like once you really start trying to pin it down, here's the thing. I'm not saying fish don't exist. I'm saying that
because how am I supposed to get my shiny coat, Craig? What is happening?
You're shiny. Yeah, eat the fish. Eat the fish.
What's the fish? There's no fish.
Exactly. But like fish works in our everyday lives, right? Where you go like, okay, I'm gonna go to the grocery store and I'm gonna order fish.
Yeah.
And it's like, and that's fine and that works. But like the more, it's like a magic eye. The more you look at it and the more you try to peg down what this category is, the more fuzzy the edges become, right? Same thing with trees. So humans have given the name trees to like tall, woody, leafy plants.
Yeah.
But most things that we call trees are more closely related to like bushes or shrubs than they are to other trees.
Ah, okay, yeah.
So all trees are basically just a common adaptation to like, I want to grow and get sunlight and moisture. So a lot of different plants have become woody and grown tall. And we as humans call those trees, but everything that we call trees doesn't actually fit into the same category.
All right.
It's kind of like saying like everything with eyes is an eye monster. Right?
I'm going to start calling everything that.
Yeah,
I like that.
So you're
eye
like, okay,
monster.
so like humans and squid and spiders are all the same thing. So all this to say is our desire to put things into neat little buckets is completely wrong. And it is exasperated in dog shows where you're like, like you mentioned this before, the things that we have done to dogs.
Oh, no.
It's
cruel.
No.
Oh, no. We have done some dogs. It's like, yeah, you got to pop their eye back in. What do you mean you have to pop their eye back in?
There are dogs who like I think it's the chow where it's like they have so much like fat on their face that they need a surgery as a puppy so that the rolls on their forehead don't cover their eyes.
Yes, stop doing that.
Pugs can't breathe.
Yes, stop doing that.
And here's the thing, I'm not even against selective breeding of dogs to find the trait that you want, right? Like I'm like to an extent, like I understand like, hey, we need a mean asshole to go into this hole and kill a rat.
Yeah.
And you end up with Jack Russell Terriers. But the problem is like once you start breeding these, like then we start doing it for aesthetics, right? Like a German Shepherd's a great example of that, where you're like, I need a dog that can chase down and pin a man, but can also scale a 12-foot wall.
Yeah.
And you go, and you end up with a German Shepherd. But then they go, ooh, you know the slant on the German Shepherd's back, like that little squat position they have, they go, that's so aesthetically pleasing. That's so we want more of that. And we start breeding for that, and then they have fucking leg and hip and spine issues, and they're useless dogs for what they were originally bred for, which is being vicious motherfuckers who can climb a wall, right? Like it's... and don't correct me if they weren't wall climbers. I've seen a German Shepherd climb a really high wall, and I assume that's what they were bred for. They may have started out as sheepdogs in Germany, as the name implies, but they're, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like we have fucked these things over. So it's like it's and the dog show itself is like form over function.
Yep.
You know, where you go like, oh, look at that, you know, look at that Jack Russell. It's like, yeah, but you bred a spinal issue into it. You bred this into it, and it's a human flaw. And you can't control things like that. You can't define things like that because the universe will not let you. It will spiral things out of control. And that is the right way of things.
Okay, hell yeah. Dude,
Right?
I didn't know you were going to be coming in here with that kind of heat.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
This was a this morning shower thought.
That's so great. I was like, nah, I'm coming in with my take on the announcer. That's what's up. Okay, I'm going to ask you a question that goes
Sure.
against everything we just talked about.
Oh, you know I love a little hypocrisy.
If you're choosing a doggy, what doggy are you choosing? It doesn't have to be in this movie. I'm just saying, like, if you were like...
Oh, what's my breed?
Yes!
Yeah. So first of all, I mean, to stay completely consistent, I am a huge fan of mutts.
Oh, me too, yeah.
I would never own anything other than a mutt, other than like if it wandered into my house and I had to
But
take
if
care
you
of it.
were to pick, but I guess my pitch
I have a real soft spot for border collies.
Yes.
We had a dog growing up that was probably a border collie. Again, found as a stray. Looked like a border collie, but she was like red.
Oh, yeah.
And which can happen with border collies. She had puppies. The puppies got adopted. She was very mean at first. And my mom just like got her in line and was such a sweet dog if you knew how to handle her.
Okay.
But like...
That's what they say about me.
Well, no. Like, yeah. So, all right, to give you some context, she would, you'd rub her belly and she would growl at you. Like, like deep, vicious growl. Like, like lip would creep up her gums. So, like, you could see all her teeth. You could see her gums. And she was just, like, growling at you as you pet her stomach. And, like, if anybody else did it, they'd be like, whoa, dog is telling me to stop. And you'd stop. And her lip would drop. And she'd, like, nose your arm and be like, keep going.
Keep going.
And you'd keep doing that. And then I would keep doing that until her lip raised so much and her nose, because obviously it's a long snout, got so far up that she would eventually sneeze. And
oh my God, that's so cute.
And she would sneeze so violently that she'd go from being on her back, having her stomach rubbed, to like full on her feet. Like it whipped her around and on there. So anyway, I got a real soft spot for border collies, but I also understand they are an incredibly demanding and high energy dog, and I would never get one.
Okay.
How about you?
Oh, corgis. I love corgis.
Oh,
like
they're
if
pretty cute.
I would love to get, like, if I ever got a dog, I would love to get something that not like a straight up some sort of corgi mix. Something that we got a bit of corgi in here because I just want the little legs. I want the little legs.
Well, that's the thing. If you cross a corgi with anything, It's a dwarfism gene that passes on.
Little legs. And I know this is against everything I just said.
I know, right?
Okay, but they're so cute. Well, I want to die.
Yes, and again, to go against everything we just said, I do also understand. Like that was our dog. Lucky was the border collie, and then my mom, before she passed, got another stray from the thing. And we're pretty sure she had some Burmese mountain dog in her.
Oh, like my God.
She looked like a teddy bear. About 30 pounds of fur on her. You would leave her out in the backyard during a snowstorm, and the snow would just like pile up on her back.
In love with it. Yeah, just couldn't get the dog in.
Just fine, because like there's absolutely no heat escaping this coat, but just eyebrows, like big bushy eyebrows, and just like the cutest thing. The most silent dog you've ever heard. I think I've heard her bark 6 times in her life.
Holy.
And only after my mom passed, and because she was like she suddenly got real defensive about my dad and all the rest, which is the sweetest thing ever.
My heart is melting, Craig.
And would just like meet somebody new and would just like throw all her weight against your leg and then just drop to the floor in front of you onto her belly, being like I've met you for the first time, full weight against your knees and drop to the floor to have her belly rub. That's what kind. So that's Bailey. I love her. She was fantastic, and I so would love to get another Bailey at some point. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so I understand where you're like, oh, we could breed a dog with the same temperament and look, and I would be like, all right, maybe a little.
Dude, so if I'm drunk around a dog, it's done. Every time I'm like borderline in tears, like I want a dog so bad.
I know, right? I also want a dog, and I also know enough about dogs that I know I shouldn't get one.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It would be, and the only reason I don't is because I believe firmly it would be so unkind.
Yes.
To do that to a dog where I'm like, I leave a lot.
Same.
I go on the road a lot, and I can't, unless I'm with somebody that has like a regular 9-to-5 job and would also be super on board with getting a dog, because I'm also not going to do that to a person either. I'm like, everybody's got to be on board. It has to be an extremely special circumstance for me to be able to own a dog. And I'm in tears every time I'm drunk around a dog. I'm like, I was so bad.
That being said, I am a stray dog wandering into my backyard needing my help away from adopting a dog. Like, I'd be like, well, I'm not going to, that to me is how you get pets, is they arrive and you're like, well, I mean, they can stay here for a couple nights until we find them a home. And then you have that pet for 14 years.
I'm your home. Home is here. Home is now.
Yeah, I'm not going to return you.
No,
you're like a People magazine that you pick up at the checkout. It's like, I'm never going to take you back.
No, what are we doing?
I have this now.
Yes. You've looked into my eyes for too long. I have made some sort of mental special connection with you, and I've already convinced myself with, like, when they're doing this stuff in the movies where he's like, no, this dog talks. I'm like, I'd be that person. I have full sympathy for how wild that sounds, but I'm like, no, I would be that dog owner to be like, no, this dog's saying full sentences to me. I understand this dog. Okay, that would be my full personality.
And this is also why I think that the Braces couple are the worst, because like Pat and I sitting at home, we're watching like the Dodo videos on YouTube and like Pat adoption stories, and like we found this stray. And the ones that always break my heart the most are like, it's usually cats that people do this to rather than dogs, but they go like, yeah, the neighbors just moved away and left their cat. And I go like, how? Yeah. How could you do that? Like, how could it be your cat? Like it's a neighborhood cat and we all feed it is like one thing. You're not necessarily take that with you. But like, it was your cat and you just left it outside, and then there's people being like, and it's waiting around for them. It's waiting for them to come home, and it doesn't know how to take care of itself. And that breaks my fucking heart every time. Buddy,
we're going to talk about this in the Spawn Patreon episode, because I have stuff to say about leaving animals behind.
Yeah, don't do it.
I swear to God.
Don't do it.
I can't even, my mind does not comprehend it. Like, I can't understand.
You're my ride or die now, man. Yeah,
like,
it's like you depend on me.
Literal, like, war zone, shit's going down. We tried and failed, because I'm still trying. You know what I mean? It's just a thing of, like, I cannot understand any circumstance where you're going to leave an animal behind.
Yeah.
I can't.
Or get rid of the dog. And that's why I hate that couple, because at the end of the movie, they're like, yeah, we got a new dog. We changed out our dog and it solved everything. And I was like, fuck you. That dog was amazing. It was so calm considering the environment that you were putting it through. It was
cute.
It was a chill, cool dog. And because you couldn't handle it, because it wasn't good for your life, no, you made a commitment. Fucking see it through.
Yeah.
You know? And like, so I can't deal with them being like, oh, it just wasn't working out with our schedule, so we got rid of it. Well, then you should have known that before you got a fucking dog, you know? Anyway.
I would have loved one CGI gag of a dog with braces.
Yeah, that would have been great, actually.
That would be apparently like my only note for this would be,
I guess maybe dogs can have braces if...
Is that a thing?
Well, like, I mean, I'm just thinking, like, if it's so important that they have good teeth and you're spending so much on this, I mean, like... Maybe.
No. Craig.
There's anti-anxiety medicines for dogs and
that kills me because my entire life growing up, I had so much anxiety growing up and nobody said anything about anxiety to me ever. Okay. Like my nobody. Okay. And now that I understand times change and that's why this happened, but it makes me laugh so hard when I go home and my parents are like, no, the dog has anxiety, Rebecca. And I'm like, but I didn't have it. What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do you mean I didn't having an anxiety attack over it?
I'm freaking out. Yes, I can't. No, I'm literally Craig. Okay, I am just looking up. I'm looking up dog braces. Oh my god!
It has to be.
God!
I don't think it should be a
Everything
thing.
you need to know about dog braces.
I don't think it should be a thing.
Stop it.
I think that's definitely for us.
No, okay, most of these are leg braces. Okay, thank God.
Okay.
Thank God.
Dogs might need a leg brace.
But the first couple images are actually like little, I don't know if this is real.
It can't be.
That's insane.
I go back and forth on it where it's like people do like so much for their dogs. And
no, this can't be real. This is clickbait. This is AI. This must be. I can't.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Get at us in the comments. Let us know if you have a knowledge of this at all.
But like, if you spend thousands of dollars on a purebred dog with the
listen, it does sound like something these fucking rich fucks would do.
Right?
Yes, it does.
It's like, well, he'd be best in show if not for his crooked teeth. Well, then maybe you're gonna pay a couple thousand.
Oh God, that's bad.
Right? And that's what I mean.
Hurts my soul
because it's a far better dog to have one fucking snaggly tooth that its lip always gets caught on. You go, what's going on there, boy? And you got to like flip it off.
I love that.
Or he like
Those
shakes
are the only
it all
dogs
the time.
I want.
Yeah.
I only want kind of weird dogs.
That's a functional dog.
Yeah.
That dog, I don't know what, I don't know what it's going to do.
Yep.
But it's going to do something.
You know what? I got to be honest with you. Kind of like the same thing in men. If you look too perfect, it freaks me out. I'm like, I need this face to have personality. I need a little something.
Yeah.
I need a weird nose. I need a weird tooth. I need a lazy eye. I need something. Okay. Yeah. Where is the personality? It freaks me out otherwise.
Give me a little bit of ugly duckling syndrome.
Oh, no, I need a little taste.
It's something that you're insecure about. Not that I'm going to call you out on it.
No. Oh, why would I? It's my favorite thing.
I just need you to, I need you to be grippy enough to be human. You know what I mean? Like a little texture to you so you can hold on to it.
No, that's attractive to me. That's very hot. Okay. Yeah. I need a little something.
Real people.
Yes.
And we've watched enough shows and done enough movies where it's like all hot people and you're like, this is unbelievable.
It's just like, unsettling to me.
I can't get into the world of this movie because everybody is too good looking.
Yeah.
Arrow was like that. The CW Arrow thing where I was like, oh, everyone's too good looking. I don't like this.
Well, I think they're going to start making veneers just a little wonky. Like, I think that's going to be the trend that goes now.
Oh, yeah, because
it looks too, like, everything looks too, like, AI, like, everything looks too cookie cutter.
Yeah.
They're going to start making a lot of veneers with, like, a little bit of, like, oh, it's just a little off.
Yeah.
So that it looks correct.
So it's not in the uncanny valley.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
I have pretty good teeth with the exception of like the bottom two teeth like overlap a little bit.
Okay.
And every time I kind of like, bite into an apple, it like leaves an impression of those two teeth. And I'm like, that's me, baby. Like that's me. I know that's me. Never going to change it. Never going to change it.
Every scar I have, every little whatever, I'm like, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's how I know it's me.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
lived a fucking life. Okay. God damn it, have I lived a life. I've lived probably a few lives, actually.
I feel
a little
like
less life would be good.
Yeah, I feel like we're both solid mutt energies to us. You know what I mean?
The amount of times I've called myself a junkyard dog, astronomical. That's what I say to people. They're like, "Oh, is this meal okay for you?" I'm like, "Junkyard dog, pour it in me. Pour it in me.
Yep.
Let's go."
Yeah,
Okay.
our friend and guest of the podcast, Sam Norton, said this to me, where he was just like, "You're so interesting, Craig, because like it seems like you're so like prim and proper and have such like kind of a sort of a more traditional upbringing, you know, or it's like everything's." He's like, "But you interact so well with all these other comedians who are drug addicts and psychos," and he's like, "I don't know how you do it." I was like, "I don't know. I just did like these are my people. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like
deep down,
junkyard dog.
You're a comedian just like the rest of us.
I'm
honey.
a junkyard dog.
Yeah.
I want to be. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Are we ready? Are
I
we
think
feeling
so.
ready? We didn't check before. I'm interested to see. I've just got a dog scale.
Yeah. Okay.
So from and I'm our announcer Fred Willard. Okay, that's who I'm ranking because I loved him so much and he's my favorite. So from a double dog dare all the way up to doggy style. I am going to give Fred Willard a working like a dog. And I think that's self-explanatory. He's out there, he's whipping it, he's working it, he's doing his best, and he just has the charisma of an announcer. He should be out there.
Love it. Yeah.
What do you got?
I've got the I guess dog breed scale.
There we go. Okay, cool.
So from a mutt all the way up to an English bulldog, which apparently is the most expensive breed you can
Really?
get. I did a very quick Google search, but like it was on a couple
We went
lists.
dog braces on it, didn't we?
Yeah, we went dog braces on it. It's up there anyway. I'm gonna give Meg and Hamilton Swan the braces couple because I think they are truly the worst people in this movie. I'm gonna give them a wolf. Because domestic life is not for them. They're mean and aggressive, and do not try it. They should just
Go
be
back
left
to the woods.
Yeah, be left to their own devices. Go,
Okay.
get away. Go.
I love it.
Yeah, they're wolves for
That's
sure.
a good one.
Yeah. And guys, a couple ways you can support the podcast. We'll get to our heroes and villains of the week in a second. But if you want to support us, we are on Patreon, patreon.com/thevillainwasright, where you can give a monthly donation and get some amazing benefits in return. So at our top tier, $7 a month gets you 2 bonus episodes. I pick one, Rebecca picks one. This month, I picked the Nice Guys, the Russell Crowe and
Great movie.
And why can't I think of his name? This happened on the episode too.
Ryan Gosling.
Great movie. Watch it if you haven't. And Rebecca has picked the 1997 super comic book movie Spawn,
Which was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. But we get into that.
Yeah, I thought. Watched that. I was like, Rebecca fucked up a little. This is going to slap. Anyway, so if you want to hear us talk about that, patreon.com/thevillainwasright. We also have tiers for ad-free early release episodes and voting on audience choice. So check that out.
And if you would like to follow us because you want to know what we're doing, where we're going, what's happening, you can follow us on Instagram, TikTok at Villain Was Right. You can follow us on Facebook, Villain Was Right. Once again, and if you would like to email us directly, you can email us at villainwasright@gmail.com. And now it is time for our heroes and villains of the week. And I'm going classic here, okay? My hero is Catherine O'Hara. Every time I just want her distilled and poured into my veins. I love her so much. She's so unbelievably funny. Like, we didn't even talk about it, but like her wobbly walk, the wobbly comedic walk she does in this movie is a masterclass.
Like after she throws out her knee?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is a masterclass in physical comedy. She is so fucking unbelievably funny. Everything she does, even if it's in a bad way, like a lot of people you've seen, have we ever even covered it? Home Fries? I don't know if we've done it as a bonus. Have we not?
No, we haven't
I might
done
put
Home
that
Fries.
on my list because it is considered a very bad movie, and I love it just like because I'm like, hey, she's spectacular. Okay,
Love it.
She's a villain in it, and she's spectacular. I love absolutely every single fucking thing she does. She is just the best. She is the best we have of Canadian comedy, in my opinion. I think she is royalty.
Yeah.
And I think this movie is an example of that. And I just don't think she ever quit. I don't think I don't pull out a miss for her. When she's on screen, she was great in even like After Hours. She has a small part in After Hours. She's in, obviously, Schitt's Creek. Like, she just keeps going and she doesn't stop. It is my dream to meet her. I am just putting this out in the universe.
$10 bill.
I am
Put her
wishing
on the Canadian $10 bill.
No, maybe not the 10, because I think we have somebody good on the 10.
Let's put her on the 20 then.
Yeah.
Fucking
we
Charles.
got, We got to put her on something, some money. I love her so much. My mom bought her postage for me. I have stamps with her face on it.
Oh, okay. So she's been on some government issue.
Oh, yes, she's been on stamps for sure. They did a comedy series.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, which is a weird thing that I know for some reason. Anyway, I'm wishing this into the universe. She's my hero of the week. She's my hero of life. I will meet Catherine O'Hara before I die. That's what I'm putting out in the universe.
Yeah, everyone got a connection.
I need it. I need to just shake her hand. I'm putting it out there. Anyway, that's it for me. What do you got, Craig?
Yeah, so I also have a hero.
Nice,
this week,
a nice positive.
Yeah, a positive one.
I think this movie just put us in the mood.
I think so. So this is the thing. This is a little bit of I'm making myself the hero a little bit here,
okay.
but it's I'm fine with this. But it was a very nice experience I had. So first of all, like if you couldn't tell from the rest of the episode, I do love dogs. I love cats. I love any creature.
Yes.
Like quite frankly, I'm like, oh, if you are willing to give me some of your attention in your very short life, like I should be present for it and like appreciate it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, the cat comes and sits on your lap. Okay, I'm going to put down the Nintendo Switch for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to, spend some time. That's what I love. And like, I feel like I get along with most dogs, to like the rare exception of like a dog like being mean to me. I'll like actually say to the dog, like, no, you don't understand. Dogs love me. Like,
no, you're wrong.
You're wrong. I'm a great guy. I was like, and you go like, oh, there's something wrong with that dog if that dog doesn't like me. And so this is the context to which we come into this, which is Kat and I went out of town. This is like a couple years ago, and we visited some friends of hers out of town, and like we were staying with them for the night and everything. And they had a cat and they had a dog, and they were like, oh, the cat and dog hate each other. Like they've lived together forever. They've never gotten along. They've never sort of sorted it out. You're never going to see these two in the same room together. That's just how they are. Right. And like, we're, busy. We do some stuff during the day or whatever, have dinner. We're making dinner. And then like after dinner, we all decide, you know what, we're just going to chill out. We're going to sit down and just watch a movie. And I sit down on the couch and like we're just watching the movie. And I swear to God, within 15 minutes, I had the cat curled up in my arm on my right side and the dog curled up in my arm on the left side. And the owners were just like, oh my
hell yeah.
God.
Hell yes.
They're like, this has never happened. And I sat there for like probably an hour with these two animals just like inches away from each other, totally. And I was like, oh yeah, no, I've got a little bit of a calming energy here. So I'm making myself the hero of the week for solving the eternal war between cats and dogs.
So fucking funny.
But I felt like an animal whisperer at this point.
Dude,
where I was like,
I had something kind of similar happen once where these owners, I was hanging out, like friends of friends basically brought a dog over, and this dog wouldn't listen to nobody. Wouldn't take water, wouldn't do anything. I had this dog like in my hand in like 1 hour.
yeah.
We handed the water to the owners. He wouldn't take it. They handed it back to me. This dog would start taking it. And they were like, I don't know. He never responds like this. And I was like, this dog does not respect you.
Yeah. Oh, and sometimes like my sisters will bring a dog over to be like a wild dog. And I'll just be like, I'll just hug them for a minute and be like, shh. Like just like, I know there's a lot of stuff going on, but just like take a minute. Just chill, dog. Everything's fine.
I don't think I could handle top tier cases by any means.
No.
But like low you know what I mean? Some entry level stuff. Yeah, I got that down. I think.
100%. Yeah. Love me a dog.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's so great that you were just like, oh, you didn't think this could happen? Watch this union. Watch this happen.
Apparently, I'm what they have in common.
No, that's sick. I love that. Anyway, that's it Yes, everybody. As always, you can follow me at Rebecca Reads on any platform of your choosing.
And you can follow me at Craig Fake Comedy on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. And if you're in Ottawa as this comes out and you're listening on the 23rd, I will be there headlining at Absolute Comedy for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So swing on by if you're hearing this for the first time. Love to see you. And that does it for us this week on The Villain Was Right. Stay tuned. Next week, we've got a really great episode. Center Stage.
Yes! So
Another
good.
contest one. We're talking about that with a very special guest for that as well. And until then, this is The Villain Was Right, reminding you that all dogs are good dogs.
The Villain Was Right was produced by Andrew Ivimey for the From Superheroes Network. For more great podcasts like this, as well as YouTube series, webcomics, and so much more, visit FromSuperheroes.com.